Baby told what the law says. Incarcerated bosses. Learn from mistakes, then we all win. Not like living flawless. We got Felicia, Latonia, and Star Austin. Incarcerated bosses.
What's the topic for today? Come and join me, relax and listen for a while. I'm the newest artist or whatever you do. Let's talk about you.
We got the 10. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Incarcerated to Boss. Today we're going to discuss restorative justice. So we're all going to introduce ourselves. I'm Felicia.
I'm Tracy.
I'm Latoya. And I'm Tammy.
Okay. So restorative justice. I was excited to talk about restorative justice because I don't think I told everybody, but I was offered a position to do restorative justice conferences. And it'll get a clap. So, we want to discuss today. Everybody did a little research on restorative justice.
Okay,
So,
what is your action? Because I know about it, but what are you going to be doing with that program?
okay, so I'm going to be working with SHARE, which is a substance abuse program.
Yeah.
So they're going to be doing conferences with family members and mostly their children to try to reconnect. And, a lot of people, when they were on drugs, they burned a lot of bridges, did a lot of things to people. When you leave your children, they feel some kind of way. Sometimes they don't want to talk to you. So I'll be working with the SHARE program doing restorative justice conferences.
That's what's up.
Yes.
We are so proud of you.
Yes.
Everybody on this panel does so much. So
We're excited.
it's like a head-to-head thing going on around here. It's not.
I'm going to sleep.
Girl, she's tired from working anyway.
Right. Hey, everybody. Tune in. You guys can call in at 248
429
429
7224.
7224.
Oh, it's on this guy.
Okay. Y'all call in with your questions if you have any. Today we're talking about restorative justice.
Okay. Restorative justice, for people who don't know, it's a form of how can we
It's an
say it?
alternative to the regular criminal justice process.
Yeah. So it's another alternative to not really punishing people, not really using punitive measures, but using measures that make people accountable for what they did. The only people who participate in restorative justice practices are people who admit to being guilty.
The offender, right, has to take responsibility.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't use offender anymore because they say it's a stereotypical from the
Okay, so
they call it the person who created the harm.
okay, right. Okay, the harmer.
So they try to be diplomatic and saying,
Right.
not putting them in
Because we weren't inmates, we were residents. So it does make a difference how you, it could be the same thing, but it's a difference how you
Word.
label that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, it makes you feel a different kind of way than being a prisoner.
Offended. Yeah, okay.
Like when I got one off on, you a prisoner, Dyer.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be anymore.
Yeah.
I know I am, but anyway, you know the lady.
Yeah.
So it's another alternative to getting people to be accountable for the things that they've done, to give everybody some kind of relief. Because a lot of times during trials, the victims or the person who was harmed doesn't get to say anything. And it's my understanding going through this process that sometimes all people want you to tell them is what happened
And why?
and to apologize, or to get see some kind of remorse from you for what you done. A lot of in one of my cases, I didn't take the stand, so nobody got to hear anything from me like I'm sorry or I'm remorseful or I didn't mean to do it or even give an explanation. So I'm just sitting there looking at everybody like.
So by law, you're supposed to get allocution, which is what the offender gets to make a statement once you're convicted at the end of sentencing. So they're supposed to give you that opportunity to talk. But the problem with that that's different from restorative justice is that the victim gets to ask you questions. So if we were in a courtroom and you gave your allocution, I think it's called allocution, then you would they wouldn't be able to ask you questions. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
That's a big difference between in the restorative justice conference, they call it, is that you get to ask, the victim gets to ask the person who caused them harm questions.
So does that make a difference?
Specific, because somebody can give a statement in a courtroom and not address what issues that person might have as far as the victim or the victim's representative would be. So maybe if the victim had died or something, and then the family would be there, and so that gives them more information, because people want to know what exactly happened, because you get the police report, they only know certain things. It would be certain things that the offender would know that they know everything.
So like behind the scenes.
Yeah, and
like
more
how
specific.
did they die?
Yeah.
What was their last words?
Yeah, people want to know that type
like,
of stuff.
how did you kill him?
Mama?
Yeah.
You know, they want to know specific questions
for
about
closure.
what happened
That's important.
with the incident.
And when you answer those questions, I mean, is it something leniency against your time or something like that? I mean, or do it take some time off of your?
So it depends on how it's structured.
Okay.
Because it could be way after the crime was committed. A lot of people, when they have murder cases, the conference wouldn't happen. It would happen like years and years and decades maybe after the crime was committed.
Okay.
And then some crimes, some of those restorative justice practices are after the crime is committed, after the arrest and before any type of trial.
Okay.
So it would be some type of resolution you would have to come up with before it was a trial, before there's a conviction, before there's, because what it does is the offender and the victim try to come up with some type of what you would say like agreement on how this case should be handled. So the victim would have more input and the offender would be able to talk to the victim more. And then, like, if the victim even knew that person's background or something, maybe they would be able to, empathize more with the offender.
Okay.
And so maybe that could be a reason why they're looking for a lesser sentence or whatever. The restorative justice practice was, then that victim can say, hey, judge, I don't want you to throw the book at them. You know what I'm saying? I want you to be able to have time where they can have a second chance at life or anything, or I still want them to do the time, whatever you say, but thank you for allowing us to do that, because now I'm getting closure or whatever I need. Yeah. So it's about getting the victim what they need and making the person who caused the harm take responsibility.
Right.
And, just put the community and everybody, because that's the biggest step in taking responsibility.
So do you guys think that's always a good idea in every situation, or is that like a case-by-case situation?
It's case by case, because everybody has to agree, especially the victim.
So if everybody
And of course
agrees, you I'm just looking at it on this end is to, I agree, because let's just say the person maybe who killed my brother or murdered somebody that I love.
Right.
In my head, maybe my intentions may not be like I might say, yeah, I want to see them, but it might not be for the right reasons that I want to see them. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I mean, like, is it always a good idea to put those, situations face to face with each other?
Well, you would have to agree to it.
Right. You will have to be ready. It's
No, I would let's just say I would agree to it.
And they would prep you. They would take you through some stuff. The offender definitely has to go through a process to get to that conference. And then you would go through a process as well, probably not intense or anything, but to make sure that you're ready for whatever, because there is a protocol to it. You just can't, you're not just gonna meet that person and then y'all talk. It's gonna be a mediator there and everything. So, yeah, it's more structured.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They hold them in like different kind of ways. They have the circles.
Yeah.
Which we used to do those in prison.
We did circles.
We did circles all the time, and they were really instrumental in helping a lot of people be more outgoing.
Yeah, and other people to understand.
Yeah. With and it wasn't like, I would have to say this about the circles, which intrigued me. It wasn't like a lot of prison things that we did where people go back and talk about you, or like you said this in the circle or something. It was really people who was in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Was feeling like they wanted to discuss some things about themselves. Everybody held to confidentiality. It was kind of amazing to me being in that kind of situation, because we couldn't do that anywhere. I don't care if you was an AA, NA, you will hear everybody's business.
In a circle, however many people that's involved in that process, they sit in a circle and you get like a talking piece, whatever it is. And that person, nobody can talk but the person holding that talking thing. And so a question is put out there, and then they go around the circle and people can comment or you can pass. And a lot of times people feel comfortable after other people have commented, because that comfort zone, they enter that comfort zone where, okay, if this person can talk about it, I can. No, well, if they talk about it, I can talk about it.
Yeah.
Right. And so it gives people a voice who may not, some people may not have spoke at their trial or after they sentencing, but they wanted to, but they just couldn't find their voice to express what they wanted to express. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I read something here about the 5 R's of restorative justice, and it's relationship, respect, responsibility, repair, and reintegration. So, could you tell us a little bit about those practice? Okay, so far as like with the relationship part, what do they mean when they say? I know it says here that at heart of every restorative justice process is a damaged relationship. So those are relationships that you are you trying to mend it with between the offender
repair.
and yeah.
Isn't that one of the R's?
No, this is repair is one of them.
Yeah.
Respect, responsibility, and reintegration.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So restorative justice holds relationships like at the forefront.
Okay.
It's not just a relationship between me and Tracy. It's between our communities. It's between the offender and the person who was harmed, the harmed and the person who was harmed. It's not like how we typically think of a relationship to be. It's a lot more open, and it's like we have to have good relationships to build a peaceful community.
Right.
And that's kind of the focus, to give everybody some kind of healing from whatever trauma they had during.
Right, because the root of restorative is to restore.
Yeah.
So you want to restore a person into what it was before that harm was caused.
Okay.
And the best you can.
Right.
With the process, the restorative justice process.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it might be just building community relationships. It happened on 6 Mile on the east side. So
now, have any of you ladies met with any of your victims?
I did have a victim. But so that's a good question too, because I had a non-violent crime.
Okay.
And so in those situations, you would meet with somebody from the community.
Okay.
Some type of representative, or just a person that would be, but mostly somebody from the community that would be involved as far as the harm I might have caused to the community.
Okay.
So it was a drug-related crime. It might be somebody from Mothers Against Drug something that's involved, advocacy group that's involved in helping victims or whatever.
Okay.
So this would be somebody that represents the community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in a violent crime, it would be that victim or any representative. You can have somebody come in, a surrogate, or you can have the family representative. It's usually not a group of people that meet with the offender. It's one person that meets with the offender. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was something I wanted to do, but I haven't had the opportunity to do that. I have discussed that with some of the people who work in the program that I'm in, meeting with my victim. But I haven't had the opportunity. I don't reach out to them. I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable. I don't want anything like that. So,
Like, oh my gosh, you reached out to me. Yeah.
but actually, one follows me on Facebook, and I was like,
Really? How does that make you feel?
it
you
caught
feel-
me off guard
Do you
because
feel threatened or, like,
no.
I mean, do you feel like some type of way with that?
No, I accepted the friend request, and maybe she just wanted to see what I'm doing. Maybe because before my crime, we were not friends, but she used to speak highly of me, so maybe she just wanted to see what I'm doing. I don't know what she could be thinking. I haven't asked her. Why are you looking like that?
I know what's in here. I'm like, what?
I know it was. I was kind of back.
You used to tell me.
And this was the thing. I saw her, and I'm like, and I had to. Screenshotted it and sent it to Shanika. I'm like, Shanika, who is this? She like, girl, you know who that is. I'm like,
So is that against any? Is she supposed to follow you or?
she can. It's
Oh, she
her-
can?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not on parole,
Right.
or anything anymore. So it's up to her. But I wouldn't mind speaking with her or the other her or anybody else.
Would you do it through a mediation, or you would do it just
I would definitely have it.
witness?
Yes.
I would advise that too.
I would not do it any other kind of way. So
Record it with a witness, sign some affidavits. Because you just never know what people are on.
That's true, and that's why I was asking that question.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think for me,
that
I
would
don't
be
think I
good.
yeah, well, she didn't lie, so I couldn't say she might go somewhere and lie on me because I didn't have that experience with her lying on me. So she didn't lie on me,
Right.
but I still wouldn't just because.
So people out there on live, we need your comments.
Yeah, call in, please.
How do y'all feel about the
248
offender and the victim getting together
42
and having some sort of process before
Call
you get
in.
to
Hey,
the criminal justice
Hey,
process?
everybody. Tune in and tap in with your questions.
Now, they are now with restorative justice. It's been going on in colleges, so they've been doing it with college students.
Juvenile justice.
Juvenile justice. It was a judge in Macomb. Was it Macomb or Oakland?
I just see
It was
one.
a suburban community.
As long as all the parties are willing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's mandatory
Yeah,
in
that's
all the parties.
So no
in
one's
Canada,
forced.
they practice it even more.
Okay.
Yeah, they're more progressive in their criminal justice too, so they practice it more.
And when I was looking it up, I seen that because I was like, maybe I have the wrong thing because I see that they practice it a lot in schools.
Yeah.
So I was just like, is this the same thing? But when I got to reading it, it was pretty much the same thing. It's just different, situations.
And I think it's good to teach earlier in school to teach kids how to mitigate their problems like
Yeah.
that, because when you get older, you don't know how to do that.
Right.
You just go on whatever comes to your mind.
Yeah.
You know,
Somebody said this is awesome.
being instinctive, just So teaching the kids
For the
young.
beautiful queen.
A room for the beautiful queens. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Teaching
Anybody
the
have any questions? Call in 248-429-7224. Call in with your questions. We would love to hear any questions that you have for anyone here today.
Yeah, teaching the kids early how to recognize when it's a problem, how to address the problem with communication instead of
Conflict
physically.
resolutions.
Instead of physically taking matters into their own hands. That'll help heal some of our communities, some of our schools.
Yeah.
I see some fights on Instagram. Can y'all just talk?
Yeah.
Just talk it out sometime.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, if they don't have that that type of push,
They probably don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, it needs to be more information out
They don't have no
there.
information they like lost.
And see, a lot of people don't accept restorative justice because they feel like a lot of people had a wrong impression, like prisoners can use this as a way to get out of prison, or they can use it to manipulate their way into a more comfortable situation and things like that. That's actually what one of these authors was talking about. He went in depth on the pros and cons of restorative justice, and he was just saying how most people are not, they just really want to see the punishment. You know, it's usually the people, the person who was harmed, who doesn't get to make the decision on what they
Right.
want.
Right.
You know, they really want some kind of justice.
We need to learn how to communicate better. We both moving with a chip on our shoulders for no reason.
Yeah.
Was that to you or was it? Tori, who you into it with?
Who is that?
Everybody.
So, well, I forgot what I was saying.
They come out. Yeah, you were talking about
Sorry.
the restorative justice where people coming together. I guess because he's going from the comment that the person's saying if everybody willing.
Oh, yeah.
So he piggybacking off of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
You
Everybody.
forgot what your story about? That's what he come out coming together with people, unity.
I would love to hear of any books that held you down.
While you're
What was that one by Shaka? Righting My Wrongs. And The Sun Doesn't Shine. Those are two powerful books.
He telling you what he meant. He said, "Nah, I meant we be moving." Or whatever.
Now, what kind of books held me down? I thought you meant it because holding down like in prison. Held me down how? I'm confused.
No, more so
I
like
got-
inspirational probably was.
Oh, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? Glenn, get.
I don't know. So,
Sorry, you off.
yeah, we do want to get, that's Tammy.
What just happened?
We do want to get more
He said
people
thank you.
involved with restorative justice.
What
With
held
the-
me down? What kind of books? Ashley and Jaquavis held me down.
So she was a hood
The
book reader.
cartels. Yeah, I read hood books, but I read James Prince. You know, he was a good book. You know,
I'm gonna go live on Incarcerated the Boss.
I am. Okay.
a couple
you
of
on
different
there?
books. You know,
Oh, okay, never mind that.
yeah. Of course, the Bible, definitely that.
That's
Proverbs.
the main one.
That's the main one.
So did you know God before you
That's
were in
first.
prison, or is that something that you decided to read once you got there?
Well, I know God ever since I was like little. I used to watch Different Strokes, and you know, like, I
got off a
I
different
used to have
stroke.
faith like through this story called Arnold used to get bullied by the gooch. I don't know if y'all remember Different Strokes, but
Yeah.
I don't have faith that God was gonna save him from the gooch, so that kind of gave me faith, you know, and it kind of saved me from the gooch because I had a gooch too.
Because I was
You
just
know?
asking because I remember times where I used to try to read
No,
the
you hear
Bible to you, and you used to be like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. So
Well, you know, I don't know. Maybe you ain't make it interesting.
I made it very.
How you
interesting.
make the Bible?
I made it
It
very.
is
One lady,
what
I don't
it
know. I
is.
was locked up. This one lady, she made the Bible really interesting. She'd sit down in her little dress, talk about Daniel. You know, like, oh, sit down. You know about the book of Daniel? I'm like, no. Well, let me tell you, it was this little blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, really? Like, well, she sat down and talk about Samuel and all of that. I mean, she just made it like fun.
So what did Tammy do?
I don't remember. That's one. That's okay. You see how I remember what this lady talked about the book of
'Cause every
Samuel
time
and
I get
Daniel
ready
and
to
all
talk
that.
about God, she'd be like, I don't want to hear that.
It's-
I don't want to hear
Yeah,
that.
it's the way you
I don't
gotta.
wanna
You,
hear
it's
it."
the way you gotta. You know, put off
know.
certain things. You know, you can't
So-
just sit there and talk about the Bible. And, you know, you're not gonna.
I mean,
you gotta make it
I
fun.
was never the one that always talked about the Bible. As I got older, I got more inclined to want to read the Bible. I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't perfect.
And you also
I
can't
might
push the
not-
Bible on nobody. You gotta.
It's not pushing. It's just, kind of giving you some words of encouragement to try to get yourself right and get your
That
life
too.
in
And like
order.
some people, like for the ones who don't believe in God, or some for those
you
who
believe
mad
in
at God.
God.
I do, but some people mad at God. Some people don't believe in God. For the ones who don't believe in God or who mad at God, because you got a lot of people who don't believe in God,
Oh,
and you got some people who be like, if it's a God, why He allowed this and who allowed that? So for that, you have to be gentle with the seed. You know, you have to be gentle so you can plant that seed so it could grow. You know. So you have to ease your way into that seed and let these species know that there is a God. Okay? The human mind and the brain, all right?
Girl.
Take it from WWJ, Mama Grizzly, on FWJLB. Hear the story about God. It's real. But, yeah. I'm going to have my own little talk show. You know, if y'all want to hear the story, I'm going to make it fun. You know what I'm saying? So you got to, you know, see how I'm talking about God? I'm making it fun, you know? About the little lady in the field, you know?
God, it's not,
She was beautiful. Those what the men wanted, you know? It's the eyes. But nah. There's stories like that in the Bible. Her name was what? Not Helen. It was something. What was
Girl,
it?
I'm not about to do this.
Ruth. I think it was Ruth or Nina, Noah. No, but there's
Noah,
stories in the Bible.
Okay.
Cut. It is time.
Like
to
I
cut.
said, we can make stories in the Bible fun, you know. It is plenty of names in there. Nehemiah, he built his whole wall in 52 days because he had faith, you know. But we ain't gonna get all off into that. But there's stories in there for me being in prison 10 years, you know.
In the Bible?
Yeah. This guy named it's Nehemiah.
Oh, I thought you said stories about you being in prison.
No, I said I did 10 years in prison, so I had a lot of time. So I had, you know, I was on lockdown a lot of time. False accusations, you know what I'm saying? Especially in the county. Stories about the county. You know, you get a lot of girls coming off the streets, you know, nappy weaves, you know what I'm saying? It's terrible.
Okay, so
But we ain't gonna get all off into that.
So Toy, I got a question.
Oh,
for
that's
you.
not godly. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't talk about the Bible and then talk about nappy weaves. Forgive me. See, that's the part where we have to be careful with talking about this Bible because, you know, when you're talking about the Bible too, you know, the enemy come and attack. I ain't trying to get all off into that. I don't want to leave y'all off into that. But this is some good talking.
Let's talk about.
Okay, they want to get back off into their restorative justice. Let me turn this back over to them. We'll get back off into my talking. You know, stay tuned into Mama Grizzly and my show. Yeah, here we go. Back to Felicia.
Toy, I got a question though for you.
Go ahead.
So, like, you know, you got convicted or whatever. Would you have wanted to use that practice with the offender in your situation?
I ain't understand the question.
Okay, so would you, if you had an opportunity to use that situation in your under your case, would you want to meet with your offender?
Which situation?
Oh, you got more than one. In
No,
one
which-
of your situations,
okay.
your cases, you have a victim, right?
Let me see.
Do you have on drug or do you have a victim in one of your cases?
In one of my
Nah, she
cases,
drugged
All drug charges.
yeah, it's my own case, but I mean, me serving people and you know giving them drugs, they victims.
But they wasn't your victim in court.
Nah.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, would you be open to that?
Yeah, I would because I still cause harm. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, to people by selling them drugs. So, with that being said, yeah, I have to tell people, you know, but actually, you know, the addicts, I don't know, God know my heart. I was wrong for selling drugs, but at the end of the day, I was surviving too, you know, so I help the addicts. You know, I feed the addicts, but I was still giving them drugs, poison. But sometimes I
That's
don't
why
know.
they stayed. Then you can feed them and you gave them drugs.
Yeah, you know, I can't say the poison helped them, but you know, when they on the streets and they spend $2,000 with the drug dealer and the drug dealer can't give them a $10 pack to help them get off sick, I'll be the one who help them get off sick because I feel bad for them. You know, the prostitutes, so I allow them come to my hotel room. I feed them, let them take a shower. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So,
So if you want to talk about restorative justice, so that's like one of the things that you help people get high. So do you feel bad about?
not get high, I help them get off sick. Off bold. It's called
they have
bold.
to get high to get off bold.
Exactly.
Actually, when they getting off bold, they not even getting high. They just getting
Together, but listen.
But you
still
offer,
getting
you,
them high,
you
though.
still offer, you
still
still
give
offer
a
the
drug.
product. So
Yeah.
my
You still
question to
dealing.
you is,
That's what the doctors doing nowadays.
Yeah, Suboxone.
Yeah,
Okay.
Suboxone, Vicodin,
But
all
you're
of this
not
stuff.
a
They just
doctor,
doing theirs
so-
legally, but it's the same thing.
okay, but I'm saying like.
But I'm not a doctor, you know. But
So
go
my
ahead.
question to you is, if restorative justice, if you was to meet with any of those people that got sick or anything, is that something that you would want to speak to them and say, hey, I'm sorry I was a part of maybe making your life.
You know, I have did that. I was in jail actually with a couple. I was in jail with this girl. She had boils on her leg, and you know, I actually told her to go change her uniform because she was smelling. And she was like, "Hey, you know what? You used to sell us this stuff, and now you want to talk about it." I said, "Hold on, excuse me." I said, "I'm just trying to tell you change your uniform." You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's all. She got upset. I was just trying to help her out, but I got upset because she had boils, and I told the officer give me some bleach to clean the shower, and the officer
Do
ain't
you
want to
feel
give me no
bad
bleach.
for selling them what you said.
Yeah, because I'm like, damn, look at all them boils on her leg. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking like, damn, that's the shit I was telling her, and she got boils now.
That's
Never again. Never again. You know what I'm
Tracy,
saying?
question. So with you, with restorative justice, I know you don't have a nonviolent case with you. Do you feel
Thank you,
bad
Hofa.
about?
HOFFA.
Do you feel bad about?
Yeah, you know
what
I tried.
have
You know what I
done?
mean?
Do you feel bad about what may cause you to go to prison?
I'm still in the process about whether I was responsible for the crime. Now, things that I have done in the past, I do have regrets about. So, yeah. Also, I used to look at it like, if we don't do it, somebody else gonna do it. That's how I looked at it at one time. And so, just like she said, now that you got the street people out of the game, mostly, now the doctors and the government doing it. You know what I'm saying? So now it's all good for the public or whatever. So why would you look at me different from how you would look at a doctor now? Because if they doing the same thing, because you try to get people off bold. No, they getting high Tammy off of this Suboxone.
Measurements.
I just left the prison where they had a whole Suboxone program, and all it is another form. It's like a form of methadone. Like it get them off bold, and then after they off bold, they get high.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You don't get them. I think it do get them high.
Yeah,
they
it
get
do.
sick too. It's the same.
Yeah, it do.
thing.
It make
But
them sick. They be throwing up from taking it. Okay, this is your live, so they just talking all about you, girl.
So, all right.
It's really supposed to be a remedy to help them stop using drugs or get off drugs.
Like I heard the morphine.
Anything can be misused.
Morphine
though.
I heard is worse than heroin. Ain't it?
Well, morphine, because when I got sick in the hospital,
Yeah.
Dilaudid, like because I hurt
Oxycontin.
myself in the hospital and was in there for 2 weeks on Dilaudid, and I felt like I needed to go to rehab afterwards because it was like, oh. Thank you. Thank you. I felt like that I needed rehab with that, so I can understand.
I know people talk about they be in pain in the hospital and they don't want to take nothing now because they don't want to get addicted.
Yeah, you get addicted because I know I was feeling like I told them when they took me, when they was lowering my dosage, I was like, oh my God, y'all about to take me off of it because I felt the jitters. I was like, I felt like I needed it. I was like, y'all got to send me to rehab. Because I felt the withdrawals, I felt the, and it did. I did not feel good. You bullshit. These people that put me out. I came here and now
messed up.
I dropped.
Finna go back and you ready to go? Tammy ready to go Mac and Gray after she
That stuff strong as hell what they give you in there. That's the only time I did
Somebody take me off now.
Yeah. For real.
She telling some ain't no more.
I'm like, y'all not giving me no more. Like, hey. They like, no, we have to wean you off now. Like, damn.
She telling some y'all gotta send me to rehab.
I'm serious.
She like, period. At least she was
rehab.
honest.
Right.
Now, see, this is an honest one.
No,
Have y'all seen that show Dope Sick?
That's too funny.
We
I
might
wanna
not be able to talk about that.
But
I'm not sure.
Anthony, my friend Anthony, just got shot not too long ago.
Oh, no. So what did
and
they
he
give
wanted
him?
to refuse medicine because, the opioids. He was in pain and still wanted to refuse.
See, you see how sis said she was just feeling something. Y'all got me on this, and now y'all want to take me out.
Man, I was feeling too good in there. Like,
They scared though. Now they see that it's a highly, highly addictive. Really
Look, she
fast.
tells she feeling jittery coming out.
Yeah.
I needed rehab. I'm
She told me y'all
serious.
gotta send me the rehab.
She was gonna hit Mac and
Because
Frank.
first they had me on morphine, and like the morphine was absolutely doing nothing. And so they was like, well, we could take you up to the Dilaudid. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is, but it was very
People
strong.
rather be in pain, like I said.
Well, I would be in pain
Yeah, some people
again.
just choosing
If I had to go again, I would not definitely be
So
on
do
nothing
y'all
like
think
that.
people are wrong for selling drugs? Because
I think people are, well, it's a catch-22 with that because I think people that sell drugs I mean, some people don't have educations, and some people, that's the only thing that they know. You know what I'm saying? And selling drugs is just the easy way because they may not have an education to get a job that they need. And so selling drugs is a fast fix or getting the money fast. I think people are more addicted to getting the fast money. Who wants to really go to work and make
I ain't gonna lie, I was addicted to selling drugs.
So what about, let me ask you, wait,
me and him being
I ain't gonna lie, back in the days, I was addicted
what
to selling
about
drugs.
nowadays, how the drugs are so cut up? What about all the deaths that are being caused by the drugs
Oh,
now?
yeah, like now it's a whole different ball game now.
I mean, it is, we talking about now, not in the
Nah, this
80s
a whole
or the
different, this is, I don't know what they got going
Okay,
on
so
now.
everybody go down the line because except for you, Tammy, our angel. Like, why did you
Not
sell
an angel.
drugs? Why did everybody in this room sell drugs with Tammy at one time?
Who said Tammy did
Tammy was the good girl.
So,
what?
Environment too. It's how she was raised, maybe.
wait, so but you
yeah,
that's
We was raised different.
So why did you sell drugs? Why did you think that
She was raised by Mr. Ike.
okay? You feeling the way?
So
Mr. Ike ain't played that.
What made you start selling drugs?
Being abusive. I used to watch my mom get beat up by my stepfather, and I was a stepchild. So when he put her out, he put
Millie
me out.
is on my life.
That's okay. When he put her out, he put me out. So that way, while I'm being put out, shit, I'm like, fuck that, I'm gonna get my own money. Since
How
I'm being
old
put
was
out,
you?
like 7.
What? What's wrong? I'm not trying to let 7.
Yeah, 7. So when I was like 7,
So you started selling drugs at 7?
No, I started selling drugs at like 9, 10.
Really?
Yeah, I used to cut hair, and I sell weed. Started off selling marijuana. So I started selling drugs at like 11,
Okay.
and I finally ran away at 13.
Okay.
Yeah, got on my own. Yeah, so I ran around the corner to these boys' house, to the dope boys' house. They thought they was finna have sex with me and stuff like that. Oh, she ran away from home. Oh yeah, we can get her now. I think absolutely not. Absolutely not. Let me get one of them sacks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, so I got a sack from like. Then I went on the number street. You know what I'm saying? It was on from there.
Right.
Okay.
Been on my own
so
since.
what made you?
Moving down the line.
So what made me sell drugs, look at Glenn, is that I was raised by a set of grandparents. Even though my mom raised me, I was over here with my grandparents, and they were like hustling. Like they took numbers as far as the illegal lottery. My grandfather had an after hour. My other grandfather was a pimp.
So your grandfather's still living, or he's deceased?
No, they're deceased. They would be in their 100 years
sure
old.
They couldn't get in trouble right now.
No, they would be. They never got in trouble. My step grandfather, though, he was indicted through the feds and stuff, but he just left, and so he never faced any type of criminal thing. But he had to stay gone from us because he was on the run. But yeah, so I was raised to get money different types of ways that wasn't legal.
Okay.
As a kid, like her, And so then when I met my kid's father, and we was going to go into, well, he said he wasn't going to be nothing but a drug dealer.
Okay.
So it was me being one of the first ride or die chicks behind Bonnie and Clyde, I guess. Like trying to support his vision and make it better.
Okay. Before I go to Felicia, I have a question.
You can skip me. You don't have to come now.
Right. No.
I'm coming. No, I do have a question. Serious though. So do you think that when you come out and tell your truth, just like how you said, Mom, on like, do you feel like your truth, when other people are involved, that they don't want you to tell your truth because it's like you kind of like bringing them into the situation? Because that's just like with me being in a domestic violence situation, because my son was, my son's wife was like, well, that's her truth, but me telling my truth, I have to involve the people that, because the people who know they did what they did to you, they know who you're talking about. So it's like other people are like, who is she talking about? Or they may not know. But how do you think telling the truth about certain situations make other people feel when you have to tell the truth if you want your truth to get out?
So, well, the way I'm going to approach it with a book and stuff I'm writing, that I'm going to put out, is that most people don't have to be named. And so I'm not, but I have a couple of discussions I need to get with some people about do they want to be named or not. You know, I had a discussion with this guy who is part. Him and Rick had a little triangle thing going on. Rick tried to kill us or whatever. So he could be mentioned in the book because we had several things going on with that. And so look at him, look at him over there. And so I ran that past him. You know, like what had happened in this situation. I want to mention in my book. You know, our relationship or whatever. And so he was fine with it, but I didn't want to just put that out there and not
without
asking him. And there's a few other people that I'm gonna run that past.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah,
I want to be clear that
if you were at odds with anyone that's going to be in your book, do you still approach that person, or do you just automatically change their name?
I'm at odds with my co-defendant, but I'll never say his name in anything, any interview or anything.
So when you write your book, the co-defender, his name or her name will be a different name.
It won't be a different name. It'll just be co-defendant.
Okay.
Yeah.
But can they come after you for something like that because they know that you're speaking of them?
It's my truth, though. Too.
Okay.
And I'm not making any derogatory comments about him or anything because it won't be about him. It'll be about me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I really don't have anything to say about him. What I'll be talking about is what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing to talk about there.
A nothing person. You don't have nothing to say about him.
Okay.
So that's part of rhetorical justice. I mean, what we talking about? Restorative justice.
Yeah.
That's why you get permission, right?
Yeah, to make sure that goes back to that. That does tie into like sort of that type of thing. Everybody should be in a participatory type of way that they want to be in this.
So how would she get permission?
Me?
I'm saying like if she wanted to know the question that she asked y'all.
So like for me, I don't know if I would get permission.
How would she go about doing that?
Like,
do y'all have do people have somebody else do that or what?
Because if you really wanted to write a book or something, like if I wanted to do a
like
movie
that program
or
we
something
watch,
like that, like Felicia knows my situation with that, and my
different
sister.
Stories,
You know what I'm saying? And if I was to write a book, of course she would be in it because she's been in a lot of my situations with the person that I was with, and as well as Felicia. Like he can stand her.
But would you ask them if they want their names mentioned in your book? Or would you just
would put us in there?
No, I would ask y'all because we on speaking, speaking terms.
Right.
Because I mean, I'm talking about.
No, that's what I say. You just ask everybody. Everybody have to ask everybody.
For the people. Yeah, like if you don't want to be.
But if you have people that you don't talk to,
how
would you go about doing that?
Right.
I would just probably change their name.
Yeah, you could do that.
I think, but it just don't make it your truth if you got to change the name. To me.
I don't know.
To me.
I don't know.
Your truth should be about you.
Yeah.
So if you never use nobody else's name in your whatever you doing, it shouldn't matter because it should be about you saying, that person did this, that person did that. They can still be nameless. They just you can point out the situation. You just don't point out their specific name.
Yeah, you're writing about you.
Right.
You don't got to write about nobody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to write about anything.
So you don't got to worry about nobody else. You're talking
Yeah.
about you and yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your story about you and you only, so you don't worry about nobody else.
And say that person.
Now, if you want to do what we discussing on the topic of the story today, which is what's the name of it?
Restorative justice.
Right. Now, if you want to do something on that topic, then that goes back to how would we get in touch with the other individual? Do we have somebody else?
Yeah, that's gonna kind of be like what my job would be, to get the people together, to brief them, give them a conference, give them the kind of the rules and things like that, how the not the mediation, the conference will be performed.
Okay.
So it would be just that person. So it would just be two people and someone there to kind of like stand by. It wouldn't be their whole family and your whole family.
No,
Okay.
they're not big. No, it's not big like that. In circles, they tend to be a little bigger. That's why you have a circle.
Okay.
So it might be Tracy and her friend who's on her side, and it might be Toya and her friend, and then you and your friend, and me if I have the problem. But you bring in your friend. You can do that in a circle. So they expand it.
But that's your job to get permission.
Back to the question.
Right.
On the drug dealing question. Why did you sell drugs?
Why would you bring that back up?
Well, she said
I mean, because you had a stepfather who took care of you through selling drugs, so.
Yeah, per turn. Go back to your
Yep. Right. So your
You
turn.
were a kept baby,
Her turn.
so. And
I was trying to help you,
I
Fee.
wasn't poor, so I can't. But
Heard me.
what made you start? What was your influence? What was your reason?
What was my reason?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I think she just did it to do it because
Right,
I
'cause I don't
need
even-
to be doing it.
No, I really didn't. So,
So was it
I don't
cool?
even-
That's what you felt like it was like.
I wasn't with nobody to make it cool. It just be my biz. People didn't even know the later or to something might have happened, and then they like.
Me too, same.
Or the people that I dealt with or in the neighborhood. That was when I was like 14.
And that's when you first started selling drugs.
Yeah.
Yes,
I went to
about to have a
I
heart
went
attack.
to Cass Tech, yeah. Which they gave me the boot out of there because I was just doing too much. He said, Mr. Norday told me,
So
you
it's
don't
fair
come
to
back
say-
next year.
It's fair to say that some people had circumstances as to why they got in the drug trade, and some people had no circumstances.
Well, I was raised like that, so it's not like it was, didn't ever look like anything that bad to me.
It was her norm too. Yeah,
Right. It
so
didn't ever
if
look like
yeah.
it was you didn't go to jail.
Right.
So it's like, what's the problem? Let's get the
Well,
money in.
The problem is that
Now you're gonna tell me what
we
the
know
problem
the problem
is.
now,
The-
but when she was growing up, she didn't know it was a problem.
Because you didn't tell me. Well, but you told
Yeah,
me don't
because
do
she-
it. You told me
she was
don't
too
do
young
it.
to
You didn't tell
realize
me
that
don't.
there was a problem.
You did. You told me don't do it though.
Absolutely.
You didn't tell me don't sell it.
Ooh.
You did that. And I never did it.
But that is true. When people
I never
parents do
did.
that though, they say don't use drugs, but they never say don't sell drugs. Have anybody parent ever said that?
Look at these.
Don't sell no
Look at
drugs.
All
this
the
brain
time.
twisting.
Don't sell drugs. Oh, for real.
Who told you that?
In bed, my auntie.
Oh.
But you was already selling them by then?
Right.
Because she probably was telling you because you was already doing it.
But that just goes to show you the harm that the drug trade causes. Because even children who have no reason to try to hustle,
They still do it.
they still can get trapped into it. It could be either because of the lifestyle that the parents have provided. It could be the fact of the kind of other children that those children grew up around, like when we say the baller babies. Well, that's a real thing.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it just shows you how it can just pass on as a generational curse. You know, you call yourself putting things in place, making sure they're in the best of schools and this,
So they
that,
won't
and the
do
other
what you
thing.
do, and then
Yeah, but the
right.
truth of the matter is they still see a certain lifestyle.
Yep.
And when they become young adults, I'll say, guess what? They sometimes probably feel like I want to provide for myself. So,
Or
I
investing in
worked.
peer pressure.
I worked too. I worked at Champ Sports. I got
Champs
credit
ain't gonna
cards.
get you what you-
I got
your people
credit
get you.
cards. I got crack. I was greedy. Then somebody showed me how to steal cars. My ex-boyfriend, he died in a car chase too. He showed me how to steal cars.
What?
But he did. Don't laugh. I was so heartbroken. Rest in peace. My first blood. No, really, y'all.
but I mean,
Still, and so it's just
the moral of
every.
the story, I think, though, is that
Right.
nobody escapes it.
Right.
Really,
Yeah.
nobody escapes it clean. You know, it may be some people that feel like because they didn't go to the penitentiary or they didn't lose a loved one or all of the things that happen in the business, but it touches everybody. If you don't touch it, it won't touch you.
It just it wasn't for me. I mean, I tried to sell before until I got a cook up hat one time, and it was just like
What was you cooking? Crack.
heroin.
Heroin. You don't have
And
to
I
cook
was
heroin?
like
What do you
naked.
mean?
Her kid's dad, he's deceased, but yeah, I just
Yeah, heroin get in your
I
pores.
was being her. He's like, you gotta
Me too.
use gloves. I didn't use
Yeah.
gloves. I was just in there, and I just was just going.
Yeah.
But I was just like, this ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't a life that I just didn't want the fast life like that, because I just felt like I ain't feel like looking over my shoulders. And
So you just wanted to work a 9 to 5?
yeah, well, I always wanted my own business, not so much as a 9 to 5.
Right, 'cause she always had talent.
Yeah,
You
I've
ever
always
had
been
that?
a hustler. I've been hustler in many different ways, and I think hustling don't necessarily got to be drugs.
It
No,
does
It
not.
never,
Absolutely
has,
not, right.
it never has meant that. That's just what
Yeah.
Yeah.
people that don't really understand.
Because
what
when
it
I say
is
hustling
say.
too, my grandparents had legit businesses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so they had that and they did that. That kind of was confusing to me too, because why I can't do that and that myself, and
Right.
that's how I got caught up, being on both, trying to be in both worlds like that.
Yeah, I've always.
But you know, I mean, look at all of the females that get caught up and go to the penitentiary, who really wasn't even selling drugs.
right,
They were just in the environment.
right.
So
That's
you know,
true.
look at how many females have lost their lives just because they was riding with a particular dude.
Yeah,
So if you touch it, it's gonna touch you back. It's just that simple.
yeah, yeah. And you know, just dealing with those type of people, like I've always been real skeptical of
Those
people.
kind of people.
I mean, you know, like, so what I'm saying is,
She insulted the whole room.
what I'm saying is,
Read the room first, okay?
like I'm real observant. like with this one right here, I just felt like she was like a lot of times was sloppy with herself, because I'm like, well, you selling drugs, why do you have to talk to them for so long? Why you can't just stick and move? Like, do what you gonna do and keep it going. She got to talk and want to buy something to drink for him and da. I'm like, girl, let's go. I'm out of here.
That's
Let's
not
go.
normal.
Like and nobody has time for that. You know what I'm saying? Like you do too much. So I just think that she was kind of like probably sloppy with hers a little bit.
I guess the
sometimes.
amazing part of it for me
That
is
look
when
weird,
you
huh?
hear your own kids feeling like they just did what they was doing because they could. But the generation before them, the thing was my circumstances. I'm tired of being poor. I'm tired of being without.
Right.
Say pause.
You didn't have access to great schools.
Right.
So, not to say that that is any better than anybody else's, but just seeing how each generation has a different outlook about how they get caught up in the game.
Yeah. A
So,
lot of times I believe people get caught up because you got people around you that get jealous of your success. Some people I've seen that on so many occasions that you think somebody your friend, and they be the main ones that be the haters. Like, seriously.
a lot of haters.
It's
you know,
haters in anything that you do when you
anything.
being when you're being successful. It don't have to just necessarily do with
You
drugs.
don't
That's
even
just
have to
life
be
in general.
successful.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true, because people don't like you just because who you are. So, yep. So, back to Felicia. So, what did
I saved it.
Felicia.
Yeah. We're going back to this and say what? I said it's.
Toya isn't another word.
I know.
Okay,
I'm
let's
trying to like
continue.
we on TV.
Don't.
And she not even looking up. Every y'all looking at me. I'm
up
like,
here with me too, like.
Oh, okay.
Okay, my bad. Sorry, y'all. Our laugh ain't got messed up. But okay.
Well, I always hustle. I hustled, so I hustled hair. I hustled a job. I worked at Ford Motor Company. I worked at Quicken Loans. I've worked at, I used to be administrative assistant for Michigan Works First. You know, I was the one to report to the workers if they was in compliance or not with doing what they're supposed to do. So I like the work world. I like.
Damn, they're the police.
Well, is that the police?
Damn near.
How? At Ford Motor Company?
You the
I'm
one
being
used the word compliance.
Oh yeah, you have to be in compliance. With that situation, yeah, working for the state, yeah, they had to be in compliance with what was it called? Work First.
Yeah.
You know, if they didn't come to Work First, I used to have this one girl. She used to never do what she's supposed to do, and so I had to report to the workers like, hey, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They mad at me because I got to do my job. So I couldn't be a correction officer, because if you got to do your job, of course I know that prisoners are probably mad because they don't do what they supposed to do, and then y'all looking like, we don't like her. You know what I'm saying? But I'd probably be a cool CO. I warn you so many times before. I'd be like, it ain't nothing I can do to help after this. You know. But
Make it sound real simple.
I mean, I don't know how it is. I ain't
No, I'm
never
just
wanted to be a
saying.
police officer.
I know a lot of them who quit. So
Yeah.
they sick of it.
Yeah.
People are just, at the end of the day, people are just.
People are people. I mean, you got to treat it. To me, I think you, regardless of whether you are on whatever end of the stick you are in that prison system, I think you should still treat people with dignity and respect. Okay, we made a mistake, but that don't mean like how your friend, what's her name, Pink, how she was saying she didn't like allow them to talk to her any kind of way. Yeah.
The young girl that was here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hurt me to my heart.
What? She what? What you say?
Talking about that hurt him to his. He don't even know what's up.
Oh my God. Yeah, like you can't just talk to people any kind of way just because
How
you
dare
in a.
somebody mistreat that beautiful baby.
Young.
She wasn't going for it, clearly.
Clearly she wasn't.
But she had y'all to
She get another case. Y'all call me.
You got her
well, we
right.
hope that she don't get another case.
You got to get her out.
So yeah, we say that. I mean, she say that, but yeah, she had got in trouble and nothing we could have did about it. Like certain things you could say like that type of stuff, but in reality, you still gotta be in line with what they trying to tell you to do. It's
Yeah.
not like, you know, like she was like just doing what the fuck she wanted to do. But I didn't even see her as rebellious like that though. Did you see her like that? She wasn't like one of the bad ones. She would have been. She would have had tickets and all kind of stuff. Like
She did have a bunch of little tickets. They used to be.
But see, they
having her
kept them
in
in
that
house.
Well, everybody was bad compared to you.
No, number one prisoner. You shouldn't even had to go see.
The board.
I told them, I was like, I don't know how y'all let me out and y'all keeping her. Didn't I say? I'm like, she
Yeah.
deserved to be out more than me, and I didn't even have to go to the parole.
So what if they
board
would have been like, okay, well, let's send you back and
and
switch
let her out?
spots.
I'd have went back
It don't work like
Cause
that.
legally
No, I
it
definitely
doesn't
would have let her.
work.
because they would have had to let me out, or else I would have sued. My time was served.
Kind of like when they was like,
Ooh, believe
we
me.
do not want to mess with this lady.
They could have took me
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Yep. So what else is going on, ladies? What else you
So
guys
I
have?
want to say that I am supporting Michigan House Representative Tanisha Yancey. She has her district is on the east side. She helped me get out of prison.
All right.
Nice, I like her.
She's a beautiful, spirited person. Her main platform is criminal justice. So she is running for 3rd Circuit Judge or 36th District. And I have a petition here to have it signed. But please go out and vote, people, because we can talk about restorative justice till our faces fall on the floor. But if we're not voting for the people who support the issues that we want to be addressed, then it just doesn't make sense for us to just have these type of platforms and stuff.
I
Yeah.
definitely.
Because we
vote.
definitely have to follow up with voting. She needs campaign volunteers. Like I said, she's an East
Now, how do
Sider, but
people volunteer? What do they need to do?
Okay,
to
so she
volunteer?
has a website, but you can Google her, Michigan House Representative Yancey, and get in touch with
Is
her.
that
through- and through
YANCEY?
Michigan.gov. Yeah, YANCEY.
CEY.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and definitely you want a black woman, and who is from Detroit, who is representative of a lot of the issues that Detroiters have. So you definitely want to go and vote for people like that who have that type of platform, who want to get your concerns addressed.
Who is she running against?
I don't know if they're incumbents. I know it's only 3 spots open in the 3rd Circuit Court, which would be Frank Murphy,
Okay.
Hall of Justice, and then the 36th District, there are multiple positions open it was like 10 judges cleared from there that they need to fill or have to rerun again. Their terms are up or whatever. So, yep.
Okay.
So go out and vote. If you are an ex-felon, we talk about incarcerated to boss. In Michigan, you can vote the day that you walk out the door.
And I did.
If there's an election. You also, if you are in jail, you can vote in jail by absentee ballot. So don't let anybody tell you anything. It's not because Florida can or this state. Michigan law allows us to vote as soon as we finish our prison sentence. So if you're on parole, you can vote. If you're on probation, you can vote. So go register to vote.
That's good information to know.
It's very easy.
Yeah.
Okay, we are going to wrap it up today after we give our shouts out
Yeah.
to Bruce Spearman, EO, Detroit Property, Triple G's.
Yes.
He said only
That's
Triple
great.
G's can wear these.
Entertainment was on here.
It says, guys got greater.
Yes.
right.
Definitely.
Triple
God
G.
can do greater than what you can do. You better rely on God.
And who are we supporting?
B Boot Camp Fitness too. That's what he does also.
This is Westside Entertainment.
Westside Entertainment. Nice shirts.
They are
This is
nice.
represent his granddaughter. This is grandbaby.
Okay.
That's his grandbaby.
Something was going on with his grandbaby. They was representing her.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
sign for it.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you
If you
so
have
much.
any additional questions, hit us up on Incarcerated Boss in our inbox, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
2 weeks
Yeah.
marijuana laws,
Thank y'all
y'all.
for
So
tuning
we have to
in.
talk about marijuana.
We gonna be
Yeah,
smoking
marijuana.
weed too, but we gonna get kicked off of YouTube.
This
Retroactive
is Lumen,
application.
the first device for hacking your metabolism.
Kicked off of YouTube
With just
again.
one breath, Lumen tells
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it kicked off.
And this is the trailer for our film,
Yeah, can we
Beautiful
see it?
Noise.
Oh, put it on big.
It premieres on the east side at the Bel Air Luxury Cinema. And that is May 13th. Red carpet is at 7 p.m. Show starts at 8 p.m. So make sure you get your tickets. They're going fast. You can contact Felicia if you need tickets. Or you can call the station at 248-429-7224.
How much are the tickets?
Tickets, general admission are $35. VIP is $80.
And what comes along with VIP?
VIP, you get to view the film along with the cast and director.
Jordan, that sounds
There's
like
a
my
grab
dream
bag
life.
that you
You're a
can get
princess?
when you enter the theater.
You got a problem with that?
And then you can walk the red carpet, take your pictures, do all that stuff with the cast, and then you can go to the after party. Those are for VIP ticket owners.
Let's go now. They on
And I
some
will
bull up
have
in here.
tickets at
Fucking
my
go.
grand opening
Sick of
of
you.
my
I'm
boutique,
the
my
star.
personal stylist.
And that is when?
That is this Saturday from 3 to 8.
What is the location?
10 Mile and Northwestern Highway in Southfield.
Woo woo.
What's the address?
24567 is the address. Crazy address.
24567
Yes.
Greenfield.
Northwestern
Northwestern
Highway in Southfield.
So
I'm
you
excited.
guys
I
come
can't
out
wait.
and shop with the kid on Saturday.
And what time does that start?
From 3 to 8.
Okay.
3 to 8.
So we got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of
Yes, we do.
entrepreneurs going on around
right.
here.
Yes.
And
Tammy
you can support
decorated.
them all.
Tammy decorated for my grand
Tammy
opening.
did it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Okay,
Peace.
good night.
I want a ticket.
I didn't get to say. Really.